All right. Once again, hello. This is Michael Lee from Suprema. It's 6 p.m. sharp here in Seoul, Korea. I believe we should maybe wait maybe 3 to 4 additional minutes before we actually um, dive into the actual topics today. So let me just put this slide up. So if you have any questions, I believe the most efficient way will be to leave it on the Q&A box. Some of the panels will be able to answer them right away. If they're not, I will deal them at the end of the session, at the Q&A part. So if you have any questions related to this topic, or even it's not really related, it's still be okay if you have any questions to leave. So as you can see, please use the Q&A box. If you leave it on the chat, or if you raise the hand, I might not be able to check it in live. So yeah, please use the Q&A box. So I believe people have joined from Europe. It's going to be in your morning. Some parts of the Europe or Middle East or Asia or Africa, it's going to be around afternoon, I believe. So once again, I would like to thank you for joining today's session. Today, we're going to talk about the new FaceStation F2, also how that's going to be presented in the BioStar 2 software, some little features that I can explain to you how it's going to be done, some details of the F2, and some other features that are upcoming within the next 2 to 3 months are also going to be introduced in this session. I can see approximately about 50% of who have registered joined. So I'll start off a little bit slow, but I think we should start right away. So today we're going to talk about the FaceStation F2, the new facial recognition device presented from Suprema. After a short introduction, it's going to be talking about all the enrollment options available for this F2 device. Next, we'll be talking about what's next, and at the end, we're going to have a long Q&A session if there are plenty of questions asked. So please use the Q&A box during this session when you have any questions. Now, about the FaceStation F2, you've already, I believe you've already seen it from our official website. It is a device looking like this, or with or without the fingerprint sensor. So to talk about the F2, the F stands for fusion. This is because on the facial recognition, we use the visual image plus the other image to do the matching. So we call it fusion. You can think of as maybe fusion standing for the multimodal of this device, which has face recognition and a fingerprint sensor at the same time. This is what I've mentioned. So this is actually the first biometric multimodal device from Suprema. So there's two models for F2. So one is just for face, and the other comes with the fingerprint sensor, as you can see on the bottom of the image of the F2. If you're familiar with the existing facial recognition devices of Suprema, we have a device, FaceStation 2. We also have the Face Lite. If you are aware of those devices, you'll be able to remember that about 3,000 to 4,000 faces are the maximum capacity for the one-to-end face matching. And the FaceStation F2, this has been boosted up to 50,000. Also, it is capable of managing a total of 100,000 biometric users, which means that you can have also 100,000 fingerprint stored for users. So the math could be a little bit confused because I found it's a bit different of what we have been doing so far because of the mixture of the biometric credentials. On the next slide, 2 slides after this one, I'll explain about the capacity. It doesn't really require any calculation, but it will be great to know what are the limits of the total biometric counts. So from the FaceStation F2, now we officially support smart cards for face templates. Now, if you're going to use these smart cards with the face templates written inside, you only have two options. You can't have them at the same time, so it has to have face only or fingerprint only. But in the future, we will expand to have both on a single card, which means then from that point, the rest of the devices will work on what they have, what they do support. So for example, if the smart card includes face and fingerprint at the same time in the future, if you put it on the F2, it will work on what it should be doing. So if the device is set to read faces, it will read the face templates from the card. If you use the same card and go back to a fingerprint device, then it will be reading fingerprints. Small details, it's IP65 rating, so it's for outdoors. But as I believe any type of facial recognition devices, a direct sunlight to the lens, it will bring down the performance. So even though it's for outdoors, there needs to be minimum security, such as it has to have a shade above to protect it from direct sunlight. All right, so the next topic I'd like to do is talking about the existing FaceStation 2. What happens when you use the FaceStation F2? So bottom line, the templates are not compatible. So even though you have registered on your site using the FaceStation 2, if you are willing to use the new FaceStation F2, you will have to re-enroll the users again. So simply, yeah. Are they compatible? No, unfortunately, they're not. This is because of what technology is based to do the face matching. So the existing FaceStation 2, seeing on your right, is it uses IR images only. On the left, it uses visual images also together. The F2, they use it together. So that's why you'll have to enroll in new template. So as you can see here, this is a screenshot from BioStar 2. Because they're separated, they're not compatible, we added a new type of credential called the visual face. So if you hear any term in front of face, the term of visual, it means F2, it means separate from the existing FaceStation 2 or Face Lite. Now, as I mentioned before, I would like to talk about the maximum capacity. The FaceStation F2, there are some limitations that we have set, which is different from what we had before, because having two types of credentials at the same time, two biometric credentials. So the total user count is 100,000 users. This is with or without any biometric credential or even card. So if you have users only with PIN, the maximum capacity is still 100,000 users. Now the face count the maximum is 50,000. This means you can enroll maximum 50,000 faces into a device. So if a user has one face credential, visual face credential registered, you can have up to 50,000 users having that same face. Sorry, not the same face, but a face. Now the fingerprint count the maximum is 100,000. So this doesn't matter if it's a one-to-one or one-to-n matching, if you're familiar with that term. That's the maximum count. Now, as I mentioned above, the total user count is 100,000 users. So you can't have 50,000 users with face and separate 100,000 users with a fingerprint. So this is how it works. For example, if you have 75,000 users already enrolled with one fingerprint each, if you're willing to create more add additional users with face, you can only create up to 25,000 because the maximum user count is 100,000. Now, if you have 25,000 users having two faces enrolled, this means even though there's maximum 25,000 users, the face count is already maxed because these users have two face templates per each user, which means on the total count, you have 75,000 left, but you don't have any left for face. So which means you can have 75,000 75,000 additional users having one fingerprint each, or card, or any other credential besides the face. Yeah, so this is what I've been explaining about a basic details, basic features or information about the FaceStation F2. Now I have mentioned that the enrollment has to be done even though if you have existing users on the FaceStation 2. So definitely our goal should be to have an easy way to enroll FaceStation F2 face templates. So we provide now 4 different options. Let's go one by one. So this is how to enroll the new visual face credentials. So the first option is to do scanning from the device. So this is a pretty traditional way we have done it so far. You can stand in front of the device. You can enroll, register a user, and enroll the face directly from the device using the LCD screen, or you can connect that device to BioStar 2, and then from there you can carry on and click the scan button. The user will stand in front of the device and will take a quick picture, and that will be used as a credential. Now, the second is about using image. Now, there's 2 ways to use a existing photograph of a user to enroll. So you can upload it from for a single user, which the menu is provided within the user enrollment screen, or you can do it batch by using the CSV. So you can upload an image for a single user. I'll show you a screenshot later. You can use a CSV file to upload batch when you have all the users' photograph. The fourth will be the mobile enrollment. So you'll be able to send a web link to a user if they have a registered email address. From there, they can access using their smartphones or even PC. If they access that web link through a smartphone, they'll be able to take pictures or upload it from their gallery directly to be used as a face template. Or from PC, you can't take a picture from the PC version, but you can still upload a photo from there. So let's go by one. This is this, the screen for scanning directly from the device. So you can see you can have a device and click scan, and it will take a picture standing in front of the device. So this is pretty much what you'll be used to if you have been used the FaceStation 2 or FaceLight. So you can upload an image for a single user, and you can just have a photograph with the face, and then you can enroll it right away. This is for a user, so you can just easily click the upload button here and browse to your PC, select a image, and it will be enrolled as a face template. One thing you'll have to keep in mind is actually this person, the picture here is smiling, but a picture without smiling will be better. There will be documents guiding on which type of picture you'll have to use. I don't have it listed here, but it should be a image, a JPEG image or a PNG image less than 10 megabytes. And it has to be a still shot right in the center. So that's that. Also, when you're using this, not in the version we have right now, but in the next version, we're going to have a feature where you can just drag and drop the image to this box. So then you don't have to click many buttons right away. The next option will be upload batch using the CSV. So how this is done is the same way you see a batch enroll users using CSV, but we have added new columns called face image file. So you can put up to maximum 2 face images at the same time. And what you have to do is, if you have this CSV file, put in the details, add a column for the face file image, and from there you just put in the file name with the extension on that column. So once that is done, you can go to the CSV import, click the browse, so put in the folder name where the images exist. And once you start, you'll see a progress bar, and once it's done, you'll see 100%. And from there, that's how you can enroll from using a CSV file. So right now, we force you to put it in a file name. From there, we're also thinking options where you can just match the file name to the user ID. Then you will be able to just easily export these photos from a different system and then import it to this BioStar 2. Now, the last option is about the mobile enrollment using your own smartphone, but as mentioned earlier, you can still use your PC. So this is a settings from the email settings where you can find it from the new version. You can put in the email titles, the company name, company logo, some contact emails, and you have to put in the SMTP settings. So you have to have a usable SMTP server or service that you'll be able to use. So how this works is once you send an email for mobile enrollment, the BioStar 2 will create a unique key and create a unique URL. And that URL will be sent to a user. I'll show you right after this slide. I will show you a quick demonstration how it's going to be done. Another thing you will have to have is that you'll have to enable your cloud. So if you're using it, you can just leave it that way. If you're not, to use the mobile enrollment, you have to be enabled on your cloud part of the BioStar 2. How this works is you select the user has to have an email address saved already. Then you click the expand button and click the send visual face mobile enrollment link button. So you might think this is quite odd for the position where it should be. There's a reason, because we're planning to have some sort of a credential menu where you can control all the credentials available in BioStar 2. So once that is done, this menu will still be here, but we'll have another copy that you can do it from there. So for now, it's going to be here. So you can just use it from the expand button. The email will look like this. So it will have a title. You can put in your contacts on the below, as I've shown you. In the future version, we are trying to think of a way where you can reassemble this email, put in some more details that you can explain to the customer. So right now, most of the contents are fixed besides your company name, logo, or emails. But in the future, we're trying to provide some more space where you can add some explanations. So before we move on, what's next, I would like to show you how it looks like in real email. So let me just change the screen here. So this is what you receive. Unfortunately, I will not be able to show you using a smartphone, but I'll just add some explanations here. So this is a company logo that I uploaded on custom, so you can change this to your own. You can put it in here. This is the company name that you've typed in the BioStar 2. So if your company ABC, you can just put in ABC, and then it will say ABC is using facial recognition, and the email will go on. For contact, you can put in an email address. We're thinking of expanding this contact also to have a phone number that you can enter. So once you click this, see the screen, this will show exactly the same on your smartphone. So if you click register, this is a guidance on how the data will be dealt. Definitely, we made sure that we do not save any whatsoever information on the cloud. So the reason why we are using the cloud service is because we need a gateway to have these photos transferred to your own on-premise servers. But you may already know the BioStar 2 cloud, it doesn't store anything on the cloud. It's not actually a cloud service. It's more like a gateway service. So we provide this guidance that we do not do that. From here, this version, it's not applied yet, but you will see a pop-up screen about how to take the pictures. We'll put it there. If you click this photo and from smartphone, the browser you're using will ask, do you want to use a camera or do you want to upload it from your gallery? So between those options, you can select. I'll go back to the slides. So that is mostly part of the F2. I believe you might have questions. I'll follow up at the end. I just want to simply share about maybe 3 features that will be added in the next 3 months. So what's next? If you're familiar with our mobile access cards, you also know that there's 2 types of them. There's a regular card and there's also dynamic cards. In BioStar 2, we still do not support the BioStar the dynamic cards, but from a version that will be released in early November or mid-November, we are going to have a new screen that will be able to support the dynamic mobile access card. So you can put in the period here, then it will have that period for the validity of the card, of mobile access card, and then it will be able to use it from your smartphones. Regardless to what type of the mobile access card is, we put in, you can use now the photo department and title. You can input it to the card, the mobile access card, and it will appear on your screen. So you can use photos to be on the mobile access card, but this photo, you don't have a separate upload screen. It will use the BioStar 2 user profile image. You can use the title and department. This will show up on the actual card of the mobile access card. This scheduled for early November release. The next is a new device called the FaceStation 2. It's a TNA device with an LCD screen that supports cards and the mobile access card, but now we also have a module supporting barcodes and QR codes. So it's a TNA device supporting card, mobile access card, barcode, and QR code. This is released to be scheduled. It is scheduled to be released on mid-December. On this one, we're not sure on the release. There could be a little bit of delay on it, but we'll try to make it not that long. The third will be about occupancy control. So this is a screenshot of a full screen monitoring feature from BioStar 2. So this will be used to, you can have an entrance, you can put in a monitor and you can see the occupancy. You can display what's going on in that zone, if a person is able or not to enter the zone. Definitely when the occupancy is full, the user will not be able to authenticate correctly on the device, so it will be blocked. So we're going to call it the occupancy limit zone, since we have the zone concepts for advanced access control. So it's the target is to control occupancy and monitor the status in many ways. So we'll provide like a traditional configuration screen for settings that can be used by the operators, but we'll also provide a full screen where you can put it on a monitor or a television in front of that zone's entrance. Also, we're going to show the status directly from the device. Now, we're planning to support this start with the FaceStation 2 and FaceStation F2 for the first, because we think these are the devices that will have the most need on this feature. A little bit of detail, we're not supporting yet on a slave device connected to these 2 types of devices, but in the future, our plan is to support these devices that are connected as RS-45. This is scheduled on the 8th of January to be released. We'll try to make it sharp on time. So these are the 3 features that will come up in the next 3 months. Now I would like to open the Q&A box and go through the questions I have been during the session. So the first question from Eto, it's, can you configure the device as standalone? Yes, you can. Always the Suprema devices, mostly if it's not targeted as just a reader, it's mostly you can just configure it as standalone. Okay, the next question is, the link via email by Visual Face is similar token method, right? Yes, it is like a token. So we'll have a unique key. Once the upload of the image is done, that token it gets expired, so so that URL will no longer be valid. So if you access to a link that has been already used or expired, you'll see just a different screen. It will not do any kind of an additional action after completion. Kindly confirm F2 fingerprint templates will be compatible with version 2 fingerprint machines like P2 and to L2. Yes, they will be compatible. So if you have already enrolled a fingerprint using a different version 2 device, as mentioned, like BioStation 2, A2, W2, P2, and to L2, they are all compatible with the F2. So you don't have to have an additional re-enrollment done for the fingerprints. The question is, FaceStation F2 powered by artificial intelligence. I think it's more close to machine learning, but yes, it evolves the templates over and over once you keep on authenticating. Next is for occupancy control, there shall be at least 2 devices to count incoming and leaving people. Yes, that is correct. You will have to have at least 2 devices. We do not have a mode for 1 device and choosing the punch type, which is, I think it's not that accurate. So you'll have to have 2 devices, 1 for entrance and 1 for exit. The next question, can we reuse the picture profile which from data when enrolled by FaceLight? FaceStation 2, black and white picture or color picture. So about the first question, I believe it is not well enough to use the FaceLight and FaceStation F2, the profile image taken from there. The reason is the resolution. I'm not sure if it's going to meet the minimum resolution, but even if it does, I believe it's not big enough. So we kind of went through the option of reusing those profile images, but during the test, we didn't get the number that we will be satisfied. So officially, I have to say, we do not recommend using those profile pictures. The second is you can't use black and white pictures. You can use any grayscale pictures. It has to be full color. All right, the next question is, okay. So is the FaceStation F2 supposed to have the same FAR or FR for the 50,000 maximum user when they use mask? I believe it's not, because once you wear a mask, so just for some details, yes, the F2 also supports facial recognition even though you're wearing a mask, but the enrollment shall be done without the mask. And once you put on the mask, I will have to say the FR and FAR and FRR goes up. Because once you wear a mask, we have a very limited area to do the actual face matching without the area of your mouth. So that it will increase in that case. Next question is, when could we get template on card for both finger and visual face on the same card? We don't have a schedule yet, but technically we know it's possible. It's just a matter of prioritizing some other features. So I won't say it will take a year or 2, but I can't say also it's going to be done in a month. Once we have a specific schedule, we'll shout out to all of our customers that this will be ready. Next question is, can you upload old photograph like 5 or 10 years ago and device can still able to authenticate? Bottom line, it is possible, but I'll have to say it will not show the best performance. So definitely the best way to have is to have a photograph for the recent days or maybe less than a year. So once you put in the the 5 or 10 years ago, a photograph from years ago, it might work in the beginning, and once that starts, the templates will evolve. So it will maybe not have any issues, but I'll have to say the best practice is to use photographs from recent days. Right, next question. Is it possible to be correctly, sorry, I may have forgot. So during this Q&A session, I'd like to start a poll. It would be great if you can participate. Back to the question, is it possible to be correctly identified on F2 by wearing mask plus glasses? I think this will be a common case. So we will have to have a separate case here. So on the mask, yes, definitely it can be correctly identified. But as I said, because of covering the mouth area, it's gonna show a little bit more of a false rejection, a false rejection or a little bit of false acceptance. The glasses is a different case. So glasses, yeah, you can change your glasses. So you can enroll with your glasses, without your glasses. You can put them on, you can change your glasses. There will be no big difference in the performance. So there will be no problem with the glasses. Also, you can still use a mask. Next question, yes, this is a very good question. How many templates can you put on a card, a face templates put on a card on the F2? You can only put on one. And one is all actually, yeah. So we tried to come up with a design to put 2 templates, but the size of this face template is around 500 bytes, which means on a normal conventional MyFair 1K card, you're not able to store 2 of them at once. It has to be around a 2K card or a 4K card to put more templates. Also, there is no advantage putting 2 similar templates on the card. So we came up with a limitation of 1 template per card. But in this case, we do not think that will have any effect. All right. Okay. Next question is it supported card plus pen plus fingerprint plus face? Good question. So actually, it's in a different order. So it can be card plus fingerprint plus face plus pin, or it could be card plus face plus fingerprint plus pin. So the card is kind of identifies who you are in the beginning. It prepares for the biometric matching. Once the biometric matching is done, then you can add a pin from here. So this is a concept that we didn't have before, but since now the F2 is a multimodal device, that we're doing that. What is the recommended size of the card if you will put face template there? If 2 face templates, how about if fingerprint template on the card, what is the recommended size of the card? Now, for now, when we can only put in 1 face template and you can't put it with the fingerprint, the recommended is it's 1K. But if you are thinking of expansion later on when the fingerprint will be added to the card, it definitely has to be a 2K card minimum. The reason is 1 face template is around 560 bytes. The fingerprint template, and it's around 300 bytes. So the total size of these 2 templates are almost 900 bytes already. And some additional information that we have to put on the card, the 1K card will not be possible to put it at all. So I will have to say I recommend you use at least 2K cards. The next question is how to put the image into a CSV file. I'm sorry, maybe I haven't explained it correctly. So what you do is you mark the name of the image file into the CSV file, and this image files has to be in a single folder. Best will be to have them in the same folder where the CSV file is. Once you start the import, and if you put in to upload a image file on the CSV import process, the BioStar tool will ask, please select a folder where the images are. So if you select that folder, then the BioStar tool will access that folder and use the images that are listed on the CSV file. Right. Next, for device SDK and the limitations for visual face image for enrollment. It's actually the same for BioStar 2 and the SDK, since there's a same standard for this image. So it has to be less than a 10 megabyte image. It has to have a certain resolution. It has to be in colors. This pose has to be correct. So there's no any additional limitations for the SDK. All right, next question. On what type of enrollments does duplication check works, means the 4 types explained during the webinar? I believe we do not do duplication checks for the face. We do not do this. Yes, sorry for the confusion. We do not do any duplication check. I know this has been a requirement for you and for other customers for a long time, for with the fingerprint and the face. So our concept is maybe not having a duplication check, but definitely we're discussing on the concepts of how to do this correctly without consuming time. So the answer is, in any type of enrollment for the 4 types, we do not do any duplication checks. So I have finished the Q&A list, but I will wait for maybe 5 more minutes, since I believe there could be more questions here. The next question is, does the F2 device have intercom function? Unfortunately, it does not. Okay, so for now, I don't see any additional questions in the QA box. So thank you for joining, all of the participants, even though you've already left. I still really thank you sparing time to join and share your ideas, questions to the rest. I think I'll be coming back with maybe the next maybe short-term roadmap on the BioStar 2. Let's see, what can I say? So I believe we're going through tough times, all of us. So hope you and all your family will be safe. Once again, thanks for joining. The materials will be sent out, and hope you have a good day. Thank you.